We welcome in Joe DeMayo, who hosts the Mets pod for SNY TV, also writes about the prospects for our website, where you can find his most recent mock draft ahead of tonight's first two rounds. Joe, let's start there. Mets have the 19th overall pick. Who are some names you think the Mets could be interested in?
So there's a list of probably 10 college hitters that they could consider, and I've heard almost nothing but college hitters for the first pick, but I'll highlight two. And the one that was in my most recent mock draft is North Carolina outfielder Vance Honeycutt. This is the definition of a boom or bust type of prospect. He's got 20-20 potential with 20 home runs, 20 stolen bases, while potentially being a Gold Glove caliber center fielder. However, people in the industry have a lot of concern about his hit tool. He struck out over 27% of the time in his last season at North Carolina, leading some to believe that if he can't improve that hit tool, he might struggle to become a big league regular and might end up more of a fourth outfielder type. And another name I want to highlight is Carson Benj. He's an outfielder / right-handed pitcher from Oklahoma State, which the Mets did a two-way player from Oklahoma State last year in Nolan McLean. But Benj would just an outfielder at the next level. He's got solid tools across the board. Highest strength is his arm. He was obviously up to 96 off of the mound. Translates more as a right fielder. Might need a little physical maturation and some small swing tweaks, but I think he's someone that could be a balance of potential and floor, whereas Honeycutt is more of a home run swing for the fences type of pick.
Well, I just mentioned Brandon Sproat's awesome performance last night. What's been the key to his rise this season?
When the Mets drafted Spro in the second round last year out of Florida, they had to figure out which fastball shape he was going to go with. In college, he would mix in a four-seamer and use a sinker sometimes, and he's been primarily four-seam and pro ball. They've cleaned up his sweeper. He has a changeup, which has always been a plus pitch, and has right now a get-me-over type of curveball. But the most important thing with a guy with this type of electric stuff up to 101 miles an hour is control and command. And this year, his walk rate is below 4 per 9 innings. And, he's never going to be a strike throwing artist per se, but he just needs to throw more strikes, which he's done this year. And that is why Brandon Sproat is a consensus top 100 prospect in baseball now.
Well, out of all the Mets prospects, which one do you think will help the team this year?
If Luis Angel Acuna could find the consistency that he had in June, he could be an electric player to come up. Second base has been a little bit hit and miss with Jeff McNeil this year, though Jose Iglesias, oh my God, has been fantastic since coming up. Acuna could provide a little more juice, which is something this Mets lineup kind of lacks. And another name I want to bring up, given the uncertainty surrounding Starling Marte, who Carlos Mendoza said today is basically a ways away from coming back, Drew Gilbert has finally returned to minor league action after missing time since the beginning of April with a hamstring injury. And if he could come back and get to AAA Syracuse and, start to perform there, I would keep my eye on Drew Gilbert as someone who could potentially impact the right field situation down the stretch.
Well, the Mets definitely have some great prospects. Make sure to check out Joe's draft coverage on our website. Joe, thank you so much for joining us here on Mets Pregame Live.